Alright everyone, and welcome back to our MotoGP 15 career. In the previous episode it was the Australian Grand Prix at Phillip Island, and yeah, if you didn't see it then I'd really recommend going back and watching it because it was a fantastic race. As you can see there, we finished in second place. It was a really great battle for the lead with about 7 or 8 bikes. It was, yeah, it's brilliant. Go back and watch it if you haven't seen it. If you're going to watch any episode in this series then it has to be that one, I'd say, so far of course. As we're on to the penultimate run of the season and the Malaysian Grand Prix at Sepang International Circuit, and yeah, we're on 20 of the season apparently when there's only 18, so yeah, I really should stop commenting on that because we know it's wrong. I've said it enough times, so yeah, there we go. I actually corrected myself, I never said that before, but yeah, we're here at the Sepang then, and yeah, we're now going to go to qualify.
Hello and welcome to the Sepang circuit. There's already a buzz of excitement inside the paddock, and in a few minutes race direction will get the qualifying session underway. At the moment the asphalt is wet and it's drizzling, but the forecasts say there could be some breaks in the cloud later. If the riders manage to make the most of the drier weather, they may be able to set some quicker lap times. So yeah, it's another wet weekend to look forward to then. Really should have expected it, I guess, seeing as we're at Malaysia, but yeah, a long way off the pace on the first time. I actually crashed on this lap, so I was a 2:21.9 I should say, and yeah, crossed line next time. We didn't make any mistakes, but we went even slower, so that just says it all really. But this is the kind of track that's so long on a Moto 3 bike, and in these conditions so difficult that it's so difficult to sort of find the motivation to actually get a perfect lap together, because it's so easy to make a mistake, and like they build it over the lap, and like it's such a long lap that you end up miles off the pace unless you get it perfectly together. In these conditions that's so difficult to do. So yeah, you saw a lot of crashes there, and yeah, we actually improved to 27th eventually later on in the session. I actually found I was in behind Fabio Quartararo here for a while, and then we did that. So yeah, that was the results in qualifying. Danny Kent took pole. He could wrap at the top today, most likely that he will. And yeah, we're 28th on the grid, and so someone else bumps off that. Very close between a few of us there, Binder, Herrera and Tanucci. And yep, a lot of work for us to do then in this race, and we're going to go there now then.
Hello from Malaysia to all the race fans tuning in. In a few minutes the riders will be taking their positions on the grid and getting ready for the start of the Moto3 race. The riders are going to have to put up with some inconsistent weather over the course of the day. At the moment the surface is wet after some light rain, but we don't have any precise information about conditions later on.
So there is a grid then. Kent on pole from Oliver and Navarro. Then yeah, his only rival in the championship, Quartararo, is 4th. Looking further down, not really much of interest to us, I guess, other than Bastianini in 10th, I believe we're battling with for the 10th in the championship at the minute. There we are down row 10, only 28. There's a Malaysian rider there. He didn't have a good day either. Middle of row 11 for Silvami Karadine. We've got traction control on full then for the wet. Lights come on now. And away we go then at Sepang. And we should hopefully get a good start here then, since we're on a much better bike than the, well, obviously everyone around us, you'd think. And yeah, we are getting ourselves pretty much past whole 9th row there and up into 25th place. Now looking towards turn 1. Hopefully we can get on the inside of a few here into this first corner, but of course it does double back on itself and we may end up on the outside for turn 2. We have managed to force our way past quite a few though, and we're actually up to 16th place, so what a start this has been. Only just outside the points in fact, and we're actually lost the pace back to Locatelli, so he did get back up on the side, but overall we managed to pass and keep a lot of positions there. So yeah, up to 17th place, and now in sort of shooting range of getting into the points, I guess you could say, as we actually run a little bit wider in turn 4. That's not going to help us too much, but yeah, as long as we can sort of just keep it together really through this turn 5. Livio Lloyd just doing weird out of nowhere there for some reason. In fact, we go around him and Locatelli then up into 15th place, so we're into the points already. Now it's just got to be a case of if we can maintain this. Of course, we made so many mistakes in qualifying. I mean, you'd have to think that we're going to make at least one in the race today, so I mean, we do have at least one flashback, but is that going to be enough for us today? We'll have to wait and see. But McPhee has overtaken Binder then for 12th place, so the Red Bull KTM bike there not doing too great so far in these conditions. We've got Hiraki Ono looking up inside, as well as Loy and Locatelli looking up inside. We actually braked quite a bit later than them though, but we did run out wide, so that allowed them back through. And actually we repassed Loy as one. That's what's going on with the camera there, the water on that suddenly as into the right hand we go, and we collide with Locatelli.
And yeah, as I say, we do have that one flashback, but this is very early in the race to be using it, considering how badly we've ridden at this track so far this weekend. Luckily we didn't go and make the same mistake straight afterwards, but yeah, that weird effect on the camera there really threw me off for a second. I think partly may have been, this is maybe sound like making excuses, but I think may have contributed to that crash. But anyway, we're looking up the inside of him into the penultimate corner, and in fact Ono was very wide there as well, so may have a look at him as well then, but weren't close enough, and he got a much better drive off the corner than we did. But we are back up into the points then, having repassed Andrea Locatelli there then, and yeah, up into the points, and it looks like hopefully that is where we will finish the first half of the race, so that'll be very good for us then, making up 13 places on this first lap, unless, well, obviously Locatelli repasses here then and it will be 12, as actually Ono ran out wide there, so we should get a good slipstream on him down the straight, as will Locatelli in front of us, as across the line we come then to be in the second lap of 5, and yeah, in the slipstream there of Ono, and we passed him, we passed Locatelli as well, and yeah, up to 14th are we braked quite a bit early though for that corner, and it did allow Locatelli and Ono to have a little look at us there, but we managed to carry the speed through the corner, and we're up to 14th place and having a look at Binder for 13th nearly, but weren't quite close enough there then. We did get alongside him though through turn 2, but yeah, he got much better drive though. Same bike pretty much, although I guess the Red Bull IO team sort of have the top-notch KTM bikes, I guess you could say, and yeah, we're still sort of developing ours a little bit, but of course we're near to the end of the season now, so it doesn't matter too much, as yeah, we actually do get a good run at turn 4. We should have a look to the inside here on turn 5, and I actually sort of bowled that move actually, because I was a little bit scared that I was going to have a similar incident to what I had with Locatelli on the first lap. So yeah, I sort of at the last minute sort of sat up on the bike, and yeah, just to make sure I didn't sort of fall under his front tyre, as I thought that might happen there if we did collide, and it did look a little bit too close for comfort, so I decided to be better to be safe than sorry. I mean, at least this way I know I'm definitely still in the points, and I mean, if I hadn't then I may have dropped down to around about 20 something. So yeah, I think it's probably better off to sort of take that calculated, well, not really calculated risk, is it, because yeah, we did the opposite. But anyway, yeah, back down to 15th then, looking at Locatelli again. Let's try and not undo what we did on the previous lap, and luckily we just about managed to avoid contact this time, and up to 14th place once again. Now we'll have to see if we can recatch that group up in front of us. Looks like there's a little group of 3 there being led, no, I think it might be even 4 even, well, no, my screen's a little bit blurry there. It is 4 in fact. It's John McPhee at the front of the group, Fanati just catching up to the back of him a little bit there. May look like it was only 3, but yeah, it's 4, and hopefully we can catch up to them, because obviously that will put us up into the top 10 if we can actually pass them. So yeah, obviously you get points down to 15th, but I mean, you know, it's top 10, still be very impressive. Of course, Bastianini most likely in that group as well. In fact, I think he may be a couple of places ahead of that. So yeah, we want to be beating him ideally, so we can get back up to 10th in the championship, but we have made a mistake and allowed who I believe is his teammate to go back through. So yeah, we do actually at least get a slipstream on him back around straight, but yeah, obviously that didn't help us too much there, than making that little mistake into turn 1, well, the final corner even, shall I say. As yeah, Ono and Locatelli do dive up our inside there then, but couldn't quite make the move stick, and yeah, we maintain the place for now. And yeah, round 10-3 then, looks like Madsby's now on the back of this group. Binder's actually got up to the front of it, and McPhee's pulled out a little bit again, and yeah, we're heading up now to turn 4 with the gap at around half a second. So yeah, we do have a little bit of ground to make up, but they're going 3 wide into turn 4 in fact. Binder forced out wide, Fanati in the middle, and Madsby obviously trying to dive at the inside there, but Binder does seem to have managed to actually hold on to the position there. It looked like he had been forced out, but no, he did manage to maintain place there very well. So yeah, some good riding from him there, and they somehow managed to exit that corner in the same position that they started it in. But I mean, this does play into our hands though, because we can catch them up now then, as we see they have dropped back a little bit from that little other group in front, which I think consists of Bastianini, Haneker and McPhee, I believe it is. And yeah, I mean, we're still in with a good shot of a decent position if we can get past them, because they're not too far ahead, and I mean, they do look like they're close enough that we can sort of bridge that sort of that gap from one group to the next, because yeah, still, like in some parts of the track very close, but in other parts they sort of break away a little bit. But yeah, here we are then, looking as close as we have been at any point, so we could even have a look at them into the penultimate corner here then, as yeah, we do get a good run on Masbu. We should have a look to the inside, maybe even have a look at Fanati in fact, but no, a little bit too far back to try that one. But we do slip it up the inside of Masbu. He may cut back on us though, and looks like it's what he might do. We have a little bit of contact, but not really anything major. Now we just gotta hope he doesn't get too much of a slipstream on us down the back straight. I did actually move across a little bit to try and sort of break the toe a little bit, and of course that does allow us the inside line for the corner. And yeah, we do look like we've maintained place there, unless he cuts back underneath us into the final corner. Doesn't look like he's quite been able to do it. We did block him a little bit, but he just pushes out onto the curb. Now we just gotta hope that he doesn't get a slipstream down his pit straight, which doesn't seem likely because yeah, obviously it just happens all the time in this series, like slipstream down every single straight. So yeah, he goes through, but we have got the inside line in for turn 1. Is he going to try and pinch for us to the apex? No, he's not, because we managed to throw it back at the inside, and it looks like we have managed to do a block pass and maintain the place through turn 2. Call right up to Fanati in that process as well then. So yeah, that worked out quite well for us, and hopefully we can now maintain this place over Masbu for these next few corners, and we can go after Fanati, who has lost a little bit of time to Binder, it looks like, on his lap, and it does look like Binder has actually crossed over that group now then, and is battling with McPhee as Masbu does have a look up around the side. And yeah, we see up ahead they're battling as well, but certainly Masbu trying to get his pace back, certainly forces out wide a little bit, but we do have the inside line for turn 5, and I think this is a little bit of the part of the, yeah, it's a little bit of the track is the part that we're quickest at. And yeah, we do manage to get out a little bit of a gap, but not really too much. And yeah, we'll hopefully be able to catch Fanati by the end of this. 0.8 per second is the gap, but yeah, there are just some parts of the track that we are quicker than down the mat, so hopefully we can make the most of that one. As down this sort of, not really a back straight is it, but yeah, sort of a smaller back straight anyway, we go, and yeah, that's Kent there at the race. Leopard bike, we saw it just briefly for a second there, Danny Kent, and we saw his bike just vanish, so he must be at the race then. So how about that? He crashed out of championship position in Phillip Island. May have been our fault there, but certainly something's happened to him today, and we don't know whose fault it is, but he's out of the race. And has he bottled yet another glorious chance to wrap up the title? It was easy for him in Phillip Island. It was easy for him today. He had a 44-point lead with 50 to play for, so it's harder for him surely to not win it today, but we'll have to see, because Quartararo still has to finish inside the top 2 to have any chance of staying in the title fight. That's how good the position Danny Kent is in. So we'll have to see where Quartararo is, and if this title fight will be going to Valencia after all, after the massive lead that Kent has had pretty much all season. Across line, Oliveira and Navarro are leading then, so Quartararo's down in 3rd, and that at this stage then, going into the final lap of the race, would not be enough for him to stay in the title fight. And Danny Kent, despite crashing out on the penultimate lap, would still be a champion then, as Masbu trying to run outside into turn 1, a lot more aggressive that time though I think, and we do manage to defend the inside line then. Obviously this is now a battle for 12th, and we can see up to, wow, about 6th place there, quite close to us, but I mean, more realistically I think 9th is our best chance there, past, I think it's Brad Binder still there on the Red Bull KTM. And yeah, hopefully we can take that place then, but also sort of keeping an eye as well on what's going on in the championship really. I mean, there's not really much we can sort of see from here. Well, of course, it's a shame we're not as quick as we were in Phillip Island, but yeah, certainly interesting to see who is going to take this Riders' Championship then. Is Kent going to win it today then, or is Quartararo going to keep it going for one more round? But we'll have to wait and see now then, as through the S's we go once again then, and yeah, still quite close to the back of Fanati here then, and I lost my train of thought because that take a call in the middle of that little bit of commentary there. But anyway, back to this. Through turns 8 and 9 I believe that is, well I think it's 7, 8 and 9 there, and doesn't look like we're really close enough to try anything into this turn 9 I want to say here, hairpin sort of thing, but yeah, Binder actually repassed by McPhee there in that little bit there, but yeah, we're still in quite close, so hopefully if we can get a good run through these couple of corners we may have a chance of slipping up the inside into the penultimate corner. We'll have to wait and see how close we are. Hopefully we can get a good run here then. Our tyres are still in pretty good condition compared to how the rears were falling off in Phillip Island, but yeah, it does look like we are pretty close here then, so we may have a look at the inside, but we were a little bit too cautious there I think on the brakes, and I think that may be opportunity gone then, and it's quite frustrating really, because we were sat behind this group for quite a long time during this race and just couldn't get close enough to actually make any overtakes on him. But I mean, having started 28th on the grid, I didn't even think points would be possible today, so sort of anything after that has been quite a bonus today, so it's going to be a pretty good result nonetheless then, as we come around the final corner then, so close, agonisingly close to the back of that Sky VR46 bike, but yeah, in the slipstream now, I don't think it's going to be quite enough as Oliveira across the line to take the win, and yeah, we come across the line in 12th place, so really not bad overall, I don't think. Nice recovery drive from us. Miguel Oliveira takes the win. Crucially, it's Jorge Navarro in second then. He didn't allow his teammate through because, I mean, you don't really often see team orders in MotoGP. Quartararo did not get that crucial first or second that he needed then. He's down in third. Isaac Vinales fourth. Dead heat between him and Efren Vasquez there. And yeah, we were 12th place on the KTM, just behind our third KTM rider, Romano Fenati there. But yeah, as I say, a very good recovery ride from us then. Only 6.8 off the winners as well. Looking further down, we see the first Mahindra was down in 17th place and Francesco Bagnaia. What a throwback to when we were riding that thing. But yeah, Danny Kent out of the race. Tatsuki Suzuki once again didn't show up. But yeah, it doesn't matter for Danny Kent then, because as you see, a 27-point lead now he has over Oliveira. So Quartararo, not only is he out of the title race, he's been overtaken for second. So that is still one battle to watch out for going into Valencia then. But yeah, Danny Kent is the first British motorcycle champion for some decades now. I can't actually remember how long it is off the top of my head. Obviously it happened in real life and they made a big deal out of it, so yeah, I guess it's stayed realistic then, as we actually dropped behind Bastianini there in the battle for 10th. And in the constructors, Honda, obviously they've had it right up for a while now, but KTM did close on them a little bit once again. But yeah, that is it for today. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then a like would be appreciated. I'll see you next time then for our last race of Moto3 at Valencia. Thank you for watching and goodbye.